Gastoldi duo number 5, and we are looking at the treble part. So we're going to start with a back bow. We're going to start with most of the bow for that first note. So let's see. Bowing works out really nicely, doesn't it? I think there's something nice about making the two crotchets a bit short and a bit lifted. But for those two, the minor third to fall away. So this is a rhythmic thing, and that's got a melodic element to it. It starts halfway through the third bar. There's a sequence, isn't there? I like the crotchets short. And then you think that this is going to do that. But actually, it does that. So if you set the sequence up with short crotchets, makes a nice feature of that one when it happens. Shall we try it from the top? Nice, full, quite speedy back bow for starters. 1, 2. So bar 9 then has to start on a back bow. And again, I quite like those lifted, they're like 3 upbeats. So if you're, what do you do to make those lifted and light if you're not careful? If you just use a little bow and you play them short, they come out very squashed, don't they? I'm sort of almost drawing a little banana-shaped saucer shape with this finger on the bow. So I'm thinking of the note as a kind of saucer-shaped movement. So there's a moment where this finger is really plucking the string, but as soon as it's played it, it's letting it go. So the shape you're drawing with the bow is almost this little curve here, coming from this middle finger on the hair. It's quite a useful thing to practice that, for lifted upbeats. So you're never stopping the bow on the string, but you're not taking it off either. It's kind of halfway between the two. That's bar 9, and it starts on a back bow. And again, it's the same as the opening theme, isn't it? It's just the first note short. I like those longer. And I'd be inclined to stop the note in 13. So the first A is the more important of the two. But after the G sharp, just sketch that one in. I think you could use a 4th finger. Should we play from 9? Practicing those lifted crotchets. Bar 9 and 1. Going on. Lots of opportunities for practicing those nice lifted upbeats. I think everything else just bows itself out, doesn't it? If you start each of those on a back bow, You get the quavers nicely at the tip and the right way round. Just watch for your left hand when you cross the string. This doesn't need to come off. And again, open string, but then stopped for the one that you come back to. Shall we play from 13 together? 13, starting on the second crotchet on a back bow. And 1. Now I would start this on a back bow because it's the opening theme, just double the length, isn't it? Going there. I think you've got time to sort that out in 23. You finish on a forward bow on the A. No, you finish on a back bow on the A. I think there's time to sort yourself out on the top. Now here, you've got choice about fingering here. You can either, you've got a 1 on the B, you can play the E with a 2, and then you've got your 1 spare to play the D sharp. What you cannot do is bar across and then do what I call the first finger wiggle. Not very subtle. So you do need 2 different fingers for that. Or, there's an E here, isn't there, at the top of the A string. And it's not a difficult stretch, that. So either of those is perfectly acceptable choices of fingering. Try them both out and see what you think. I find that it's quite a different sound up here to... So it depends a bit what mood you're in. If you want something a bit more lively, you want to be up there. Whereas if you think, you know, it's the end of a phrase, and it could just die away a bit, then up on the A string might be a good place to put it. Shall we go from the middle of 23? So from the top E on a back bow, and 1. So in this next bit from the end of 31, you've got 2 choices bowing wise. If you start that on a forward bow, the last crotchet of 31, it's great for the bow, and here, but now we're all backwards for these crotchets, and the risk is that the ones that are off the beat are going to come out stronger. But if you start that section backwards, this is all backwards, and you run the risk of the weak crotchets coming out really strong for the sake of getting these the right way round. Personally, I would start it forward. At the end of 31, I'd start on a forward bow. Fingering wise, here you need chordal fingering. You've got a 2 on the G. You need to use a 3 for the C. And now just make sure that you're not going to get the push bows coming out stronger. If you just think about it, and think about just not pushing the forward bows and not letting the back bows be too weak, then you can compensate for that being the wrong way round, and that's the way I would choose to do it. Should we try it from the end of 31? So you go from the tip of the bow after 2. 1 and 2 and 1. Chordal fingering. Then we can lift these again, can't we? So 39 has to be a back bow. In 40, I would think about playing the first quaver E on the C string. So third finger, 3, 1, and then an open string because we're heading up. So 40 would be open E, C, stopped E, open E, and then chordal fingering here. You need a 3 for the C. Let's go on. Most of that's all right, isn't it? 46. Everybody's favourite place to be on a treble. Make sure that B is really nice and secure under your third finger. And then I would play the first of the C's with a 4. And then the open string as you're on the way up there. So this is 46, open E string. Third finger right round, 4 for the C. Open A string, but after the G sharp. Again, I think you could stop that one. It's the end of the phrase. This one is more interesting than that one. Let's do all of that together. This is 39. 39. Starting on a back bow, but not near the heel. We're sort of quite near the tip by the time we've played the previous bit, with 3 nice lifted crotchets. 39. 2 and 1. And on. Lots of that just works out very nicely, doesn't it? All of those little themes start on a back bow, all of them with those lifted crotchets, and then that falling away at the end. Be a bit careful here that the last little quaver of 56 doesn't stick out because it comes on a forward bow. I don't think there's any way around it. You've just got to make sure that you're conscious that it might stick out, so don't let it. I think these things happen when you're not aware that it's a risk. And also, if you think about 57, rather than being a sort of triumphant place to have reached, if you look at the tenor part, the tenor starts the theme again in 57. So actually you need to be kind of out of the way in the treble part. So just don't make too big an issue of it. So 55. Doesn't need to be anything too dramatic, I don't think. Shall we play that together from the end of 50? The end of 50. Back bow, top half of the bow, lifted crotchets. 1 and 2. Let's do the whole thing from the top then. And we said we'd start on a back bow. Lots of bow on that first note, so we want to start quite near the heel. Just be really careful that you're not starting with your elbow out here and your wrist in here. Really hard to get a decent sound there. So you want to be conscious of all this part of your arm hanging off the middle finger that's on the bow hair. And then if you imagine that somebody just comes along and does that, or from this side, just pulls a piece of string on the back of your wrist and makes it move. So you're not thinking, okay, here I am starting my sound, I'm here, and it just begins. But if your wrist is in here and your elbow is out there, very, very hard to do that. So very relaxed at the top, all the way through then. 1, 2. I'll put the tenor part in then, shall I? And leave you to it on the treble. The treble part starts then, so I'll count you a bar in, and then I'll count myself a bar's rest, and I'll join you in bar 2. Here we go. 1, 2. A bit quicker then, I think. So I'll count you 2 bars in so we get the speed nice and settled. This is your new minim. Here we go, 2 bars in. 1, 2, 1, 2.